Hello, everybody. Welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, I also publish on Rumble and on Patreon for extra support. Any kind of updates and such, I usually go out on Twitter X. Later today, we'll have a Callisto Protocol episode. We are reaching the final stages because I think we have in total 13 episodes for Callisto Protocol. So 10, one more week or so of this series, and then I will see what other series they are going to bring up. I will let you know when the time comes. But yeah, other than that, nothing special here to announce. Just the completed gameplay series is still here. Everything that I publish, I try to keep it on the main page of the channel here. But yeah, let's go for some news. We finally have some news regarding okay, official information regarding the RDNA4 launch coming none other than Lisa Su, the CEO, and this information comes from I think in the investors call, which basically she said that the launch is going to be early March. No specific date for that, and there is some rumors going about here that the event for the official announcement of the GPUs is coming late this month, probably. I think they're are going to wait until the launch of the 5070 Ti, which supposedly will come out February 20th. We already have the prices for the 70 class cards from NVIDIA, but we don't have independent reviews from them. And I think to a certain extent, AMD is going to wait for those independent reviews in the 19th of February, and then they will do the presentation with more concrete numbers so they can interpose with the 70 class cards in terms of value to do a different offering. Again, my expectation hopefully is the 9070 XT to perform at least the rasterization around kind of the same that the 70s 5070 Ti in terms of raster, and probably a little bit less on ray tracing, and to have, I don't know, hovering around, I think the ideal price will be around $600, or but the best should be 550 if they can put it the kind of performance on the level of the 5070 Ti at the price of a 5070. I think it might be a killer card on the market, especially at this price point and performance. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Again, nothing regarding the Navi 44 chip, which is the 9060 cards. But yeah, they are focusing more at this moment on the 9070 series, which is the 70 and the XT variant of it. And again, hopefully it has kind of the around the same performance as the 5070 Ti at the price of around the 5070. I think it will be a good one because I'm not sure if NVIDIA has enough inventory on retailers for these GPUs, because we know the failure that is being the 5090 and 5080 in terms of inventory. There's nowhere to be found, especially the 5090s, and all the issues that people are having with drivers breaking, still having the melted connectors in some instances here and there, even though it's not so far as we can see as common as the 4090, even though again the 4090 still has some melted connectors very regularly. I mentioned yesterday the videos that I see here and there. The repair shops still have at least a handful of GPUs to change connectors every week or so. So yeah, it's still a recurring issue, and I think it will be the same thing, especially with the 5090, because there's been some again, the power draw from that GPU is overing and sometimes reaching the limits of the cable itself, which is 600 watts. Even though we have around 75 watts coming from the PCI connector itself. So supposedly the card can draw around 675 watts. I don't think it's a very healthy power draw, especially for the cable, the 12 volt power pin. But yeah, other than that, hopefully we'll get more information. I don't know, a little bit more teasers in the next week, maybe, or mid February. Again, I'm expecting the official announcement, or at least the showcase after 20th, or maybe 2 or 3 days afterwards. So let the 50/70 review stuff cycle goes on, fade away, so they can come out and have a swing at it. Hopefully, we'll get a good launch here. In gaming news, I think I already mentioned this. I don't know when, a couple of months ago, maybe, that Neowiz will publish the next game from WolfEye Studios. WolfEye already did the game, which was Weird West, similarly a pretty decent game, around the 8 out of 10 kind of a game there. It was also kind of a turn-based combat, I think, turn-based RPG or something like that. I'm not sure. I remember seeing this name of the game, but I don't remember what kind of game it is. But seemed pretty decent. Um, and we got now from their new upcoming game a little bit of more concept art, which is this one, Sky Carriage. Got here the concept art of what we will see, probably going to be a retro sci-fi first-person action RPG. We'll have to wait and see how it goes. Again, this has a DNA of from a lot of developers that came out of working on Dishonored and Prey. Prey is a pretty good game. I really enjoyed that game, and I did a gaming series on that. If you're willing to check out that gaming series, I think you'll be surprised how good it is, given that it's again underperformed a little bit on sales, again because of the IP name. I think they should have been called other thing other than Prey. But yeah, there are also veterans there on that studio, from developers that work on Dark Messiah, Pentiment, and Assassin's Creed. Yeah, and other than that, Neowiz also probably is going to launch the DLC from Liza P this year, and they also announced a partnership with Zakazane, a studio consisting of CD Projekt Red and 11-bit studio Alumni, which is always good to see this kind of efforts to let some smaller studios experiment in gaming and see what they can bring to the table. We got also continuing with the experimentation. We got Dawnwalker. They are doing interviews here and there, and they tackle a little bit here on the serious consequences for both action and inaction that you take on the game. Again, we are not going to be able, due to time constraints of the game itself, the time mechanic, which is you basically have 30 days and 30 nights um, to confront the big bad boy and dethrone them. I suppose, or you can join them. I'm not sure, but I think the story plot is for you to basically kill him and remove his influence in the area where you play. People were a little bit worried of 30 days, 30 nights, but as a reminder, in terms of time mechanics, the time will move forward when you actually complete content. The fact that you are still uh, not doing anything, the time will not pass. Basically, you will have to complete the quest. I will assume any kind of quest, secondary or the main plot stuff there, and time will pass depending on what type of quest it is. If supposedly it has more steps, more time will pass as you complete that quest. I think other kind of different activities. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to, I don't know, gather stuff, resources, and all that jazz. I will assume that will not pass time, but with that, I will assume that there is some kind of resource management gameplay thing there, that you can only do so much, so you don't exploit the system itself. But yeah, it's very interesting, and the fact that you cannot do anything that the game has to offer on one playthrough, there is more value to that replayability side of things, so you can experiment with different actions, or in this case what kind of choices that you can make on those quests. And also it leaves the fact that I'm assuming that you're going to have some time constraints on that particular quest. So if you start the quest and you complete other quests without completing that one, maybe time will pass and that inactivity of that quest will have some consequences. Again, depending on what you supposedly need to do on that quest. But yeah, very interesting stuff here. And I'm waiting for them to come up with a showcase on the summer for some gameplay to see how it goes and how it feels in terms of gameplay and all that jazz. But yeah, I'm really expecting good things out of this game, and hopefully we have a hit in our hands here. And then we got yesterday out of I completely forgot that Capcom showcase or highlight thing that they had was yesterday. I watched today before doing the video, but I saw that they were doing the live stream yesterday, so I took my time here today to highlight what I did enjoy. Again, the fighting games not for me. Usually don't play these kind of games. I think it was Virtua Fighter, the ones under Capcom or something like that. I completely forgot. But yeah, the things that caught my attention was again Onimusha Way of the Sword. We got a little message here from them. Basically, they're trying to explain the three main tenant or the three main core or pillars that they're going to focus on, um, which is compelling characters, the setting, and the in terms of the sword fighting things. There, again, this is going to be a new main character. It's going to take on Edo period in Kyoto, so I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do there. Edo period in Kyoto reminds me of the anime series of Samurai X. I think it's at the same time. Edo, no, Meiji area restoration. I think it's after Edo period. But Kyoto is it takes place in the same area in Kyoto, if not mistaken. Hopefully, I'm not misremembering that. But yeah, I'm very interested about this one. I already when they announced this game, I already told that I remember playing Onimusha Free, which has that they had like a system that you play with. It's some time travel stuff there, I think, or alternative realities. I think you played in some parts with a Jean Reno character. But yeah, I remember liking the fighting style of the game, and the series has some is famous for being a little bit tough on the combat stuff, but it's not overly impossible to do things. It's kind of a difficulty side of things as Dark Souls, so it's difficult, but when you defeat it, it's rewarding. At least that's how I remember it. But yeah, you got a message here, and there is kind of a little bit of more footage here and there. Again, seems slick. This one is also coming next year, supposedly. They are working hard on that. And I think it's going to be on RE Engine because it's Capcom, and it's looking good. And then we got also Monster Hunter Wilds. Again, we got another trailer, more screenshots, more monsters. Again, I try not to be too to follow too much, so I don't probably get spoiled. But again, from what I know from Monster Hunter, they have they can announce more monsters, but they're going to be even more unannounced monsters, even like the alpha monsters from each territory. Again, I'm not sure exactly how it works. Again, I never played any Monster Hunter game, and I think this one is going to be the entry point for me. Again, they re-announced that the new beta stuff there is going to take place on 6th to 9th of February, and then we got a second time around for I think 13th of February to 16th of February. Again, don't quote me on that. I kind of forget it a little bit there, but yeah, the game will launch officially February 28th. On this new beta stuff, they are going to they introduced another monster, so we will have two new monsters to do besides what we already did in the first open beta. And yeah, so we're going to two runs. Completely forgot to highlight here. February 6th to February 9th and February 13th to 16th. Okay, I remember it right. And they got one thing that I found it very interesting. in terms of how you can play the game, which is online single player mode, which is basically your kind of offline, but it's on a single player online mode, which is if you want friends to join up your session, they can hang up with you. Or if you don't have any friends at the time to play with, you can play it alone. But when you activate the flare, automatically while the flare is up, and there is the opportunity to open up for multiplayer and have other hunters join you, and then I suppose after that hunt is finished, you return to online single player mode, which is very interesting because for me, even when I play Elden Ring, I usually avoid interactions. I don't. I like to play things by myself, even though the asynchronicity of the online multiplayer of Elden Ring is very interesting because you opt in, so you don't need to opt out, so you can opt in, and you have certain mechanics for you to help out. And I think this mode seems to be something in those lines. So you kind of online, but you're not. So if you have your group of friends, you can play with them on a session while you're online, and when you really think you need help, you just throw up a flare, automatically goes up multiplayer, people can see you and join in the hunt with you. That, at least that's my perception of how that mechanic works. But yeah, I'm very excited for this. Again, never pre-order games, even if I really 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 want to. The only thing that I ever pre-ordered in my life was the Shadow of the Earth Tree, but already had the experience with previous From Software games. I already played through already playing Elden Ring, and I took a chance on that. And of course, I was doing the live stream there, and I thought it was a good time, so I don't miss out on that. But yeah, never pre-order games. I will wait for sure for reviews to see how it goes, if it is according to my expectations, and then probably I will jump in. I think this is going to be a good one for me to jump in as a new Monster Hunter gamer. And then lastly, we got here a little bit more from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Again, it's confirmed that suppose you can have gay scenes. For me, this is optional, and from what I understand, it's kind of not the easy thing to do to reach this gay scene or gay romantic scene or relationship that you might have with this guy, with the NPC. I don't know which one. Again, I never played the first one. I'm not aware very much of um, the background. But what it comes here is the fact that again, this Daniel Varver, he cleared up to a certain way that there's going to be, but there's not going to be forced upon you. I don't have an issue with this because again, it's an RPG. Even if it is trying to be historically accurate, again, in medieval ages, for sure, there was somebody that was gay. I don't think anybody has doubts about it. Even though it's again, it was not the normal thing to happen. I assume. But yeah, my problem is, or it can be as a problem because again, usually this kind of simulation games is not really usually my jam. But yeah, got a lot of people that didn't like the fact that you can do this. I find a little bit again, IGN doing his thing, which is they just put an article specifically to teach you how to reach that goal end of that gay scene. My issue that I can point forward towards for is basically the fact that supposedly on the main character that you play with, which is the same one as the first game, supposedly the guy was a straight white guy with no tendencies whatsoever to go for the other way. Is set up as lore in the first game. I think it was to a certain point a womanizer in a certain way, which it's odd that in the second game, even though you are playing an RPG, but again, it's not fully RPG because you already have a setup character in the way that he is and behaves. And if you open up ways that are not consistent with what the character supposedly is, I think I think it's the acronym mafia monetary incentives because the first game was not published under Deep Silver. I think it's Deep Silver, the publisher here. I think I saw here. I completely forgot to highlight this article. Now that I'm seeing it, but yeah, I think also it's a little bit overboard the fact that again this is supposedly again it's against the lore of the character itself from the first game, which is my issue there. But the fact that you supposedly have to go a little bit out of the way to reach something as this, it's not mandated. It's not something that you are basically faced with out of nowhere. I think it's something that you need to work inside of the gaming mechanics to achieve something like this. I don't see the issue itself by this. Is mainly the fact that the character was already established in a certain way, and then they throw in this option out of nowhere. It seems, but yeah. Other than that, again. You play if you want, you don't play if you want, but I think again it's a little bit overcompensation of the slop games that we had from the current day politics that we have from Concord, Dragon Age, Veilguard, and all those games, Dustborn, and all that jazz. I think it's a little bit overcompensation in certain areas, even though I understand the complaint, which is the character was never like this. Even in the first game, you didn't have an opening for the character to be to have gay relationships. So people, again, I understand the frustration, but I don't think this is needs to be having an overreaction to this. But yeah, and the fact that again, from the developer side of things, the response was never upfront. Um, Supposedly, it was really no, supposedly not. It was banned in Saudi Arabia because of this relationship that you can have, which is something that a lot of people were denying, especially from him, Daniel Favre, and then the way the Freddy went about it. He really, again, he responded a little bit more directly of not having forced diversity. Again, it's a misquote because again, you're enforcing diversity with the option of uh, choosing if he is gay or not. Gay characters already, Kingdom Come Deliverance one again, as you can see, that there was everybody knew that there were already gay people in that time period in that part of the world. But yeah, it's a little bit of overreactions from some people, and again, the lack of I don't know. A lack of nuance and being straightforward of people questioning things because they really want to know in majority of the cases what's happening with the game itself. And again, I don't think it helps the replies. And again, people will always overreact, and there are going to be trolls, and there is going to be always going to be somebody in the extreme position of the other side. Regardless, again, it's the internet, it's the public setting. You're always going to encounter everything. It's a diverse, we can call it this diverse market of opinions in the internet. But yeah, I think a little bit nuance is it's always good. But yeah, it's my thoughts on this. But yeah, we're going to wrap up here with some gaming deals. This one is not on deal, but it's Palatro. Again, I've been playing a lot of this game, mainly on my cell phone. It's the only game that I have on my cell phone. And yeah, it's pretty addicting. It's just one more run to see if you can go about and finish the run there. Yeah, it's very addicting, but it's a very good game with excellent mechanics, different kind of ways of going about it. Again, different challenges, a lot of stuff to unlock. Very interesting. I really do enjoy this game. It's got a stamp of approval for me. I because I don't have a lot of time lately to spend on the computer. I'm not playing too much here, but I don't know how many. I almost unlock everything on my cell phone that there is to be unlocked there. I just need to complete more runs to and levels of difficulties. But yeah, I basically unlock almost everything except for a few jokers that are, yeah, to reach that kind of requirements a little bit difficult. But yeah, very good, very good. I really do recommend this one. Then you got Okami HD. It was announced. I completely forgot the the sequel, but again, nothing here. But there is going to be a sequel of Okami, and this game is 50% off. I will have to try this one out. I always heard good things about this game when it came out, and there is also a bundle with Kunitsugami. Again, it's kind of Japanese inspired games. And also, if you want just to buy Kunitsugami Path of the Goddess, it's 20% off, or again, you can buy it on a bundle there. Again, this one seems pretty good. It's kind of a tower defense kind of a game with a lot of strategy and real time um, handling of the waves there, which is very, very interesting. Then you got Dragon Ball Zoma 2, again, keeping it with Capcom stuff there. Again, mixed results. I think the performance they improved a little bit more, but I think the fact that the creative director left the studio, yeah, it's a little bit shame because I think they could improve a little bit more on other stuff. I think the main focus of this game, I think if you focused on just dealing with the game systems, I think you will enjoy very much the game. I think the story is serviceable, but it's not something out of the ordinary there. But yeah, it's 43% off. Then we got Monster Hunter World. Again, I'm not going to play this game. I want to delve in the game with Monster Hunter Wilds. But yeah, Monster Hunter franchise is on sale on Steam, and Monster Hunter World is 67% off on the base game. Then you got all the additions there. Um, Again, 70% off. Then we got also Resident Evil franchise is still on sale again from Capcom. I will leave all the Resident Evil games that are on Steam on the description below, so you can pick and choose the ones that you want for completing your collection. Then you got Red Dead Redemption 2 is still on sale, around almost 2 days here, 75% off. We got Jedi Fallen Order. This is from my library here. 85% off at this price point. I can recommend the game. It has its issues. The story is pretty decent. Gameplay mechanics is kind of first entry of these guys doing this game, kind of a Souls-like attempt. It's pretty decent at this price point. I can justify the buy there. And if you're not sure, you can check out my gameplay series on these two games from Fallen Order and Survivor. But yeah, I can justify the price on this game. And also, again, Jedi Survivor is 75% off. Again, a little bit on the higher end. There are some optimization issues here and there. Nothing very egregious, I think. At the time of playing, they didn't launch the final patch. So I had some issues here and there, but again, if you are curious, you can check out my gameplay series on that. Again, I can justify if you like the first game. This one is an improvement in basically almost every front from the first game. The story continues, keeps the same, at least the same level in terms of story. There are some other stuff here and there that I didn't like too much story wise, some bits, but other than that, the story itself, overall picture is pretty good. Keeps the same level, but yeah, 70 again. If you like the first one, you will like the second one for sure. And then lastly, we got Dead Space remake. Again, this one, uh, the only thing again, it's performance wise. Again, EA title performing not so good. It's not new news. Again, some stuttering here and there on the loading part of things when it's loading near doors. It's loading the background. You encounter sometimes some freezes. I encounter while recording like 1 second freezes here and there, but other than that, on those loading areas, it's a pretty good performance. It feels the same or even better than the original one. and you got some side quests there that explore a bit more the story stuff there, more lore stuff that is expanded because again, all free games already came out in all the different media that explore that space IP. And again, I can recommend at this price point for sure. No need for the deluxe version. Again, it's just cosmetic upgrades, nothing in terms of game wise is added up there. But yeah, I can recommend the base game with no problems at this price point. And again, if you're curious to see at least how it feels, you can check out the first episode of the gameplay series there. But yeah, I'm going to wrap up here for today with the plug on my Patreon as usual. Again, this extra support from Patreon is for me to get around and having a better storage solution so I can have backups of stuff that I do for my clients, and of course some extra space for the videos that I do for the channel. With all that said, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next one. So until then, Kunami Master out.